everybody. We are the Realty Bums. I'm Chris Byrd.
And I'm David Seevers.
And we're coming together to give you some general updates on real estate and property management, maybe bust a few myths along the way.
Absolutely.
Yep, so I think one of the first things we're going to start out, we're going to be doing this routinely, and hopefully this is helpful for everyone. And one of the topics and questions that I've been getting, and you've probably been getting too, is
a lot, yeah.
Corona-19, coronification is what I like to call it. What is that doing to the world? What is that doing to real estate? So I'm going to start. We look from a personal point of view, to be completely subjective about it. I don't feel any different. I don't know if the realtors out there or the buyers and sellers feel a difference at all. I know we had a little bit of a week or two when this thing was getting tight and starting off that everybody was a little timid about getting out there. The whole gloves and masks thing started. But since then, I think it's pretty well normalized, and I don't know if other than that week, maybe two, we had more than that in the blip.
Yeah. I mean, the Pensacola area is always kind of a weird sort of space. We live a little differently around here. And, I talk to other property management professionals in the state, from outside of the state. And depending upon where you are, it's had different degrees of impact. But definitely, there have been some changes in the area, but all in all, it seems very much as if life has just kind of continued on. We've kind of just gone with the flow as we typically do in this part.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think tourism, that was impacted quite a bit here. But as far as like the local businesses, we had a little bit of slowdown. Real estate was essential the whole time, of course. Mm-hmm. Again, I didn't feel much. So I did pull some stats to kind of give you guys an idea. And this is from our MLS system that we use mainly in Escambia and the Santa Rosa counties. I want to caveat and say that holistically, the number of listings has been trending down in the last 3 years here. So it's been kind of trending towards the seller advantage, seller's market, and I still see that looking at last year, same time, January through June, versus this year, same time. The caveat that. Now, talking about last year, we had same time, same quarters, about 6,100 total listings. This year, same quarter, 4,900 total listings. So you can see already significantly down, about 20%-ish down from just total listings. Again, that's the same trend we've been just seeing with being a seller's market. The total sold percentage down about 13%. So it went from about 4,200 to about 3,700-ish. So again, down, but the same trend we've been experiencing, taking COVID out of the whole scenario. Now I will say, with the we have a lot of military around here. COVID has slowed down a lot of PCS, so a lot of movement that we typically have did slow down for sure. We felt that. That's loosening up now, but we felt that at the beginning. Job losses has been terrible, of course, in certain areas, and that drives the amount of money that flows through to buy houses. So that's definitely been the case. And then less inventory, just a good old supply and demand thing, obviously keeps it as a seller's market. Now, when it comes to all that being pretty much consistent, which it has been the last 2 or 3 years, what we have seen with the whole coronification thing is, believe it or not, an increase in percentage sold. So for residential, we've actually had probably about a 7% increase from last year, and that's taking the total number of listings and the total number of solds and getting the percentage breakdown. We've actually increased sales when it comes to the amount of sold and listings. And land sales, believe it or not, has gone up substantially, probably about 16%. So compared to the amount of listings we had for land and sold, again, from last year to this year, same time frame, about a 16% increase. What that really tells me is we continue to be a seller's market. Supply and demand, like I said, if you do want to list a house, you're not missing a beat. It's time, because the supply is so low that when you come in, you get attention on your house. And if you are looking to buy or sell a piece of land, I believe the time's now, because they're getting under contract, and I think that's going to drive prices eventually. So that's my take on coronification for the real estate sales.
Yeah, well, so property management side, obviously, under normal circumstances, this time of year, late spring, early summer, leading through summer, you would typically see a big increase in activity in terms of rentals, people looking to rent homes, people moving in and out of properties. This is usually the time of year, if you're a landlord, this is when you want your home to be on the market, because, this time of year, the demand typically drives the rental price up from, by anywhere from $50 to $150 over what the home might otherwise rent for at different other times of the year. And that continues to be the case. The coronavirus has really not impacted the numbers in any truly significant way at this point. We look at, the April to May time period last year for North Santa Rosa County, homes were being on the market according to the MLS for about 11 days. That was the turnover rate. The turnover rate has changed here in 2020, but we're still in that 30-day window that most property managers are going to be interested in, and people who are getting their homes relisted. If you're doing it right, you're giving yourself about a 30-day window, and so we still haven't extended beyond that 30-day window. But what has changed is the price point. Chris talked about this still being a seller's market, and property management, especially along the Gulf Coast, has seen a tremendous cut in terms of the volume of homes available. So again, that demand has driven up. This time last year, the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath in North Santa Rosa County was renting for about $1,375 a month. This year, it's at $1,425. Looking in the Gulf Breeze, South Santa Rosa area, this time last year, the price point was $1,450. The price point now is $1,575. So again, another uptick. Even in Escambia County, where prices typically are a little bit more stable, there's still upticks. Across Escambia County, this time last year, your average rental was $1,260. This year, you're looking at $1,334. Again, those are for your average 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. So your price points are going to be a little bit different if you've got larger properties or you've got smaller properties. But what we are seeing is just a continued driving up in the price point, and the time on market is really not changing all that much. Just as another example of that, Escambia County, all of Escambia County last year, number of days on market averaged out to 27 days. We're now at just over 30 days, at 33 days. So very minimal change in terms of days on market, but a huge upswing in terms of the price for the rental. So, those people who are thinking is now a good time to get into the landlord business or to add to that portfolio, yeah, absolutely it is. People are still looking for homes to rent. The market has not been diminished in any significant way. And so I think that if you are a renter and you're trying to find a place, the activity is out there. You need to jump on things as you find them if you like them. If you're a landlord, it's still a good time. The coronavirus has not impacted that rental market in the Gulf Coast all that significantly.
And when our supply is down and people can't purchase, then they have to rent. So it kind of just goes hand in hand, dovetails right into what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, again, this was our first update. We hope this was helpful. We're going to do much more of these on various topics. We'll take topics. You could post a comment if you want to know about anything particular in the real estate or property management world.
Yes, absolutely. Please give us your feedback. Give us your questions. We'd love to help you out in future episodes. Be on the lookout. I think we're trying to do what? A couple times a month?
A couple times a month.
Realty bums.
We're going to be busy.
Right, absolutely.
You guys stay safe, have fun.
Yeah.
Ask us any question you'd like, and stay salty, my friends.
Yeah, stay salty.